So this is Calicat, the Calicatster, and this is a review of Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 3 this season, Season 3, Mind's Eye. That they go to a planet where I think it's supposed to be Janus 4, I think is what they said, the planet from the Hortus. But now there's aliens from the Sargon episode, and aliens from the animated series, including the Kukulkan Khan character that show up. They're spheres that mess with their emotions and mess with their make them see things. Yeah, Lucy. The science team is and the rock creatures are hanging out. I guess they made the alien look like a big rock creature. But that also suggests the other rock creature from the Excalibian story. So there's a bunch of weird stuff going on. Yeah, there's a bunch of cameos. Again, we have the Henderson character, the buffed dude. Henderson character crossed with Schmidt both from Starcrackers in Cillian Space in the story, the commander. And we have the captain, Ransom, who is an adult version of Chris, who has had a child, who is the main protagonist in the story. If Chris and Henry were mated, had kids, and Henry ended up being an admiral, and she ended up being a captain. Totally makes sense. They're not, though, because in the original location, Cillian Space, they're very pasty white, but they changed them. But that's fine. So we have, in this version they're not, so it's fine. But we have, crew from the Carlsbad and the California down the planet trying to figure out the mystery of these spheres. We get Ransom's fantasy that Jen, the Andorian, is hot and hot for her, which is funny. That's right out of Silly Track. That's right out of modern Silly Track. And then later on, she becomes a werewolf creature that comes after her. Furry, Mark's Card's story right there. She literally becomes the werewolf from Mark's Card's version of Silly Track. So, did we write this one? No, the Mind's. Kind of sounds like something we would have written. So, I don't think we did, but it kind of sounds like it. Also, we have the character. We have the from the other show. They're trying to one up each other, and they all mess up. They break some of the orbs, and at the end, they're like, "Oh no, we broke the orbs, and now we're in trouble." And they're not really, because it reveals that the scientist team Tendy's is the scientist, and she gets to mentoring under the bird and the cat from the ship. The Keaton doctor, who was clearly Yunsal from Destiny's Canary Space. That's totally what that doctor is. But yes, totally. Yunsal, although in Canary Space, Yunsal is a male, but he never mated, so maybe he's a trans male furry cat. Be interesting. I never really addressed it in the story. Either way. So. Yunsal is a girl. I don't know. But I made Yunsal like Dr. McCoy and the cat ladies like Dr. McCoy, so that's where they got that from. Dr. McCoy. We're not delusional. It's clearly what's going on. So yeah, so the premise keeps going with that, and the crews one up each other, and then they're friends. There's a Tellarite. There's a sort of I'm guessing the Quetzalcoatl projection came from the Latin-looking lady who was among them, and that's probably where that is. And then there was some other fantasies that popped up to attack them as though they were real, hologram kind of thing. But we learned that secretly our main protagonist lady has bi thoughts, which is fine. It's the future. It's 23. It should be 2383 at this point on the show, but I think they're saying it's 81, but no, it's 83. And it should be catching up with the other one pretty quickly. Yeah, so 2383. Yeah. Story that's 20 years before the events of Starship Location Strange Worlds, and that has an older version of Tendi, a middle-aged version of Tendi in it. But maybe Orion's lived a little longer. She's not yet middle-aged. But yeah, but that's building to that, because this season they made her part of the science team and stuff. So that's Strange Worlds is 20 years down the road, but that's what she's toward. So it's like, oh, cool. Yeah. So Mr. McMahon made sure not to tread on our fan fiction, even though he didn't have to. Could have done his own thing, really. Anyway, so yeah. So there we go. Yes. So fascinating. That's pretty much it for the review. It was very silly story, and it had elements of 3 different episodes. I know they like to do the fan service, but in this way they did the fan service different in that they had a mystery to solve, that they were in courts. The science team was in cahoots with the rock creatures, so it was different. It wasn't just fan service. It was a story about a planet where the fan service happened to happen. So that's fine. Yeah. So. Anyway, so. Yeah. Anyway, that's the review. Yeah.